Like it or not, AI is here, and I think you should like it. The utilization of AI in your coaching practice will make your life so much easier and so much more effective. It will also help your clients receive better results faster. Today, I'm joined by Bahubali Shete of NutriChef to talk about his incredible AI-based nutrition coaching product that is the way of the future. Welcome to the Strength Coach Collective, a podcast brought to you by Two Brain Business. We are here to help advance the strength and conditioning coaching community by bringing you a wide range of experts in the field. For today's episode, I'm your host, Kenny Markwardt. Don't forget to join our community at strengthcoachcollective.com. Bahubali, welcome. Thanks for hopping on here with me. I'm excited to talk about this. This is a super interesting subject to get into.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm hoping that we'll give some exciting inputs to your podcast listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you're the owner of NutriChef, but you started your career in engineering and tech. What's your journey to get into the nutrition and fitness coaching space?
Yeah, I I mean I started my journey completely from a different domain in the sense I started 37 years back on robotics and automation, factory automation, and all that, and then moved into the startup world since 2009. This is my third startup. My previous startup was an IoT platform which we built and sold to Motorola, and now we are venturing into. We started with the food for AI, and then that has morphed into a food for AI for nutrition. Sorry, AI for food that morphed into AI for nutrition. So, just the whole reason why it took a turn is also because of my personal story here. Because my father was diagnosed with fibrosis about 11 years ago, and he was a doctor himself, and he was given 3 years by the pulmonologists, and he did not surrender himself to allopathic medicine. Rather, being a doctor himself, he actually turned to food as alternative medicine and worked on his fitness, yoga, and pranayama, and he extended his life from 3 years to 11 years.
Oh, wow.
I actually I lost him last year, but that has left me a lesson as what a profound impact a diet or nutrition can have on somebody's life.
Yeah.
And I, in fact, worked on myself after that. I created this AI-based solution because I'm a geek technologist, and created a AI-based solution. And in startup, they say that, right, I mean, eat your own dog food. So I
Yeah.
actually used that on myself, and saw that I could lose about 22 pounds in a matter of 5 months with just following proper diet and simple exercise routines. So
Amazing.
that's where I knew I had something which works, and that's my entry into nutrition world.
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to your father and to you, but I mean, what you guys learned and what you're doing now, like think of the lives that you'll impact and change and extend, and like that's magic. And
It
sometimes
is.
those terrible things that happen to us can be really formative for the future. So, yeah, powerful story. So then that's how you transitioned into the NutriChef platform, and what. So was that like specific? You started working through your own nutrition through your father's nutrition, and then you were using AI for food, is what you said a second ago. Could you define a little bit more of what you meant by that?
So AI for food was basically again came out of my passion for cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So, after I sold my previous startup, I was thinking what to do next, and I was trying to, combine my passion for cooking and technology, and that's where I said, let me do something in the kitchen. And then we went on to, we did multiple pivots, but we ultimately created an AI which creates a conversational experience or interactive experience to help people to decide what to cook and learn how to cook. And we partner with Amazon Alexa, and we are the premium partners for Amazon Alexa. I'm proud to say that for last 6 years plus now. And you ask for any recipe on Alexa. This is in India. You ask for any recipe on Alexa. It's our solution which comes up and speaks about it. It's a default thing. They don't have to ask for, or that product is called Tiny Chef. They don't have to ask for Tiny Chef or anything. And it is also one more interesting thing is I brought in the Gordon Ramsay of India, a very famous chef, Sanjeev Kapoor, as a co-founder to make this happen. So yeah, that was my AI for food. So on Alexa, you could just ask, I have this on my fridge. What can I cook? And
Yeah.
then it gives you very interesting options, asking you certain questions. Would you like Italian? Would you like Mexican? Would you like this and that? And then do you like savory or do you like, mild? Do you like spicy? And based on certain filters, it arrives at two or three specific recipes, and then you can pick one, and then you can start cooking. And the cooking also is highly interactive in the sense you could say, okay, tell me the next step. Okay,
Yeah.
go back to the previous step.
I
Okay, and
screwed
then
this up.
it
Now
gives
what?
you, yes, sets a timer along the way, and then reminds you that now the onions are burnt. Why don't you turn
Yeah.
it off?
Can it smell? There's no smell in there.
Unfortunately, yeah. But I'm not surprised if we come up with that, the sensory technology with
Yeah.
everything happening in the kitchen.
Yeah. So you mentioned that specifically in India. Is that available in the United States as well?
It's available in the United States. You can ask for, Sanjeev Kapoor recipes. That's my co-founder's name. So you can say that Alexa open Sanjeev Kapoor recipes. You will get all Indian recipes there, but yeah, it's available in United States, around the world, not
Okay.
just US. Yeah,
And so that's the brand of that, or the title is Tiny Chef.
yeah. Tiny Chef is the technology and the brand behind it.
Okay. So you couldn't just ask for that, and
Yeah.
you could or you could not.
Now you can ask for Tiny Chef, but the better one is, we have both they are called, the apps on Alexa are called skills. So there are two different skills. The one with Sanjeev Kapoor has better recipes.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. Can you say that just a little bit? Well, I have a tough time with pronunciation. Just
Yeah,
so we
yeah,
can say that out loud to our Alexas. And
yeah. It's Sanjeev Kapoor,
okay.
Sanjeev, Sanjeev, and then Kapoor is Kapoor, Sanjeev Kapoor recipes. So you can say, Alexa, open Sanjeev Kapoor recipes, and that should start the magic.
And then it's basically I have these things in my refrigerator. What can I do?
That's it.
That's beautiful. I need this in my life. Thank you. This is you've changed my life. And now we haven't even gotten started. So this is fantastic. I appreciate this a lot.
Thank you.
So let's talk about NutriChef then. Let's talk about how this is what this looks like and how it's being utilized in nutrition coaching.
Yeah, definitely. So, give you a little bit context as how and why we entered into gyms in the fitness world, specifically with nutrition, right? So after we started working on nutrition, AI for nutrition. I actually gave this solution to about 300 dietitians in North America, and then got their feedback. And AI was not doing when we started what it is supposed to do. We came to a point where AI started doing as good as a human nutritionist or dietitian could do. So we matured the product, and then We in fact have pretty good testimonials also for that. Happy to share that. Anybody needs it. Then we identified gyms as the ideal customer for us because that is where we felt that fitness is 20% workout and 80% diet. And unfortunately, everybody is focusing on the 20% workout and leaving out an 80% diet plan. And that's why the results are not great many times with the members. And that has two implications. One is member results, and second is they're also leaving out money on the table,
Mm.
which they could make with that 80% part of it. So that in fact was also the trigger for us to participate in Two Brains Business Summit.
Mm. Yeah, wonderful. I completely agree. And I am a gym owner, and the majority of our clients are. They are mostly focused on the effort they put in the hour in the gym and not so much on the other 23 hours of the day, which, especially with your history and your background, what you shared with me about your father's illness, I would believe like that's been impactful in your recognition how important nutrition is as well, right?
Right.
So what is this? How does that work? Like, what does this look like in some more specifics for a coach or for a gym or for a client, whichever one you feel most
Sure. So
suited?
NutriChef is a dual app solution. So there is an app for the coach and there's an app for the member. So the coach will actually onboard the members. They send an invitation, and the member will get an invite email, and they click on the link and download the member side of the app. And as soon as they download, they are taken through onboarding process where they are asked to fill an intake form. And this intake form has been revised at least 100 times or more than that to make sure that we collect all the possible inputs to make sure the diet plan is not feeling like a prescription. It should just feel like your home cuisine getting extended with some specific ingredients included in it with controlled portion and timings. That's all. So that way, people are not overwhelmed and they don't take a crash diet and then drop off after that.
Love it.
You are looking at something which is more sustainable for lifelong. So that's what we try to do. So we took care of a lot of things here. One of the biggest thing which I'm very proud of, which we took care of, is we culturally look at who you are as a person, because who you are determines how you cook at home.
Mm-hmm.
Irrespective of where you live, like I'm an Indian, I live in Canada, but my cooking style in my kitchen is always going to be Indian.
Yeah.
So who you are determines what kind of recipes you are going to cook. And where you live determines how you are going to shop for groceries. So we take that and that into account and generate a meal plan so that it almost feels like you are just changing your existing home cooking to meet the new diet needs. That's all.
Mm-hmm. That's so smart. I think that's one of the it's it seems obvious sometimes as you get more advanced in the field, like that the less you want to change somebody, the less you change somebody, the more impactful it can be because they'll stick to the plan. But as you were saying, to have a comprehensive overview of what they're actually doing now, and then having this guide them towards those small sustainable changes I love it. That's fantastic. So how long does that intake form? Like it sounds like it's fairly comprehensive in terms of what they're already doing and where they want to go. How long does it take a client to do the intake?
It's about 7 to 8 minutes it
Oh
takes.
wow.
Yeah, we have tried to make it as easy to use as possible. It takes into account your basic details like age, weight, height, gender, takes into account your diet preferences, is your cuisine preferences, your home cuisine, culturally where you are from, and where do you live. And then it takes into account your allergies, your health conditions, your sleep timings, your workout timings, um, and your meal timings, your heaviest meal of the day, and do you do intermittent fasting? Do you skip breakfast? Do you skip lunch? Do you eat outside? What kind of ingredients you typically buy? Is it you rely more on fresh vegetables or on frozen or canned vegetables? So, and then if you have in-body measurement or DEXA scan measurement or skin caliper measurements, you could upload that.
Hmm.
And if you have your blood report or genome report or gut health report of any of those, medical records, you could upload that. And we take all that into account and create a hyper-personalized diet plan. Especially with the blood work, we do a very smart thing that, in fact, I'll talk about where all this knowledge is coming from. We take into account the different biomarkers and map them to superfoods. What superfoods will help in correcting those biomarkers, and integrate those superfoods in your diet plan.
Hmm.
So it could be nuts, or it could be protein, it could be yeah, whatever the basic superfoods are required to compensate for those biomarker variations. We bring in that, blend it in your diet planning. So that's what we do. And the whole idea, we also look at, do you do bulk cooking? In the
Hmm.
sense, some people prep it up on Sundays, so that their weekday preparation is lighter. So they don't spend time, or they don't have time to cook during weekdays. So what we do is we generate the diet plan for the next week on Friday. We generate a grocery list for them. So, and the grocery list is very well structured in terms of aisles, different aisles of what you can buy. And then we prepare a preparation checklist so that you can prep ahead for the week. Or if you want to do the whole cooking, that also all the complete recipes are given. So you can cook them ahead and then box them and keep it for the week. So all all those conditions are taken care, and that's what most people love about this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds like it takes all the thought and prep. I mean, there's obviously prep, but like all the thinking out of it. Let's talk about the blood work. You mentioned that you mentioned the where all the information came from. I'd like to know, are these markers from a traditional, what somebody's going to get from their general physician, or do they have to go elsewhere? And then let's talk about the data behind uh, the recommendations made based on the
Yeah.
blood work.
Yeah. So two parts in this. One is we have partnered with one of the very top nutritionist, who is a both sports and Olympic nutritionist, and he has been in the business for about more than 20 years now. He has 200 dietitians under his clinic, and he's on board. His name is Ryan Fernando. He's on board as an advisor to us, and we're we're able to strike a deal with him to actually get access to his 15 years of diet plans created by him and his dietitians in the clinic. So which is about 350,000 diet plans, and we took that and then actually trained the AI using that. And then we also have access to about 200,000 plus recipes because of our other product. And we use that database to train AI on the recipe part of it. So these recipes are not random chat GPT generated recipes, rather these are the recipes which are actually with are still generated or modified based on the 200,000 plus authentic cookbook publishers published recipes.
Mm.
So we also have trained the AI using the Alexa skill data which we have.
Mm.
So we have close to over 4 million users who have actually used our solution. on the Tiny Chef side on Alexa. So we have that data, which is completely anonymized, and we use that data to look at, their cooking pattern, the ingredients used, the utensils used, the kitchen tools used, all that kind of data, and then we use that to help better planning and better structuring of the diet plans for the consumers here.
Yeah, fantastic. So, in terms of the blood work, though, is that something do you take your panel from your physician, plug it in, or is
Yeah.
there a recommended panel that is conjoined with this?
We are currently we are open to anything what you have currently. So
Okay.
you can just upload that and then we can do with that. But we want to go towards more structured approach there to understand depending on your health goal what kind of biomarkers we need to look at and
Mm.
what blood tests you can take. we will we may or may not actually recommend anybody for that, but we will at least recommend what kind of test you need. And of course you can always use Google and ChatGPT to find who can you know do that test and get it done. But typically so far your regular physicians, your annual checkup blood work is good enough to start off.
Okay. Are you aware of any legislative or legal implications depending on where a coach or a business might be located where this is making recommendations that are not allowed? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. So that's a great point. So in US and Canada, especially where we are focused on, um, um, I mean, we have the solutions available online globally, but our current immediate focus is North America, and we do have some clients in UK who are inquiring, and some in Australia and New Zealand as well. Um, the regulations are different in different countries, obviously. Let me talk about the North America first. So here we have to be HIPAA compliant.
Mm.
So for that we have made sure our technology and the tech stack, everything is HIPAA compliant. So technically we are compliant ready, and when we launch a white label solution for a gym, we will have to run through the HIPAA compliance if they insist. It is not mandatory, but if they insist.
Mm.
Secondly, because we are not a uh, medical, we are not giving any medical advice. It is just the diet plans which are being given and being reviewed by a professional and given to their clients. A human is involved, is why we also do not need to worry about the other legal implications because of the diet plan.
Mm.
So it's it rest of the legal requirements are going to be same as what is required in individual states or regions, um, in terms of how you can or cannot distribute the diet plans.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. That makes sense. So it's still up to the coach or individual to understand as they're making the delivery on this, that's up to them to
Yeah,
understand.
but
Yeah.
at the same time, there are tons of apps out there which are being used globally, and there hasn't been any uh, legal implication which I'm aware of, which any of these apps have faced.
Mm.
So an app generated diet plan is still unacceptable and doesn't come under any scrutiny.
Got it. Okay, cool. So we just touched on this, and I'd like to explore this further. Is how does this evolve, and what does this look like from the coach's side of this?
Yeah, great point. So in the whole process, the coach is in full control. So we talked about onboarding the client. So once the client fills in the intake form, so maybe let me start again. So the coach invites the member gets the download link, they download the app, they fill in the intake form. As soon as they complete the intake form, a notification goes to the coach. Then coach can review the intake form. They can set the goals, they can adjust the macros, they can give special instructions, all that they can do. And then they ask AI to generate the diet plan. Once the diet plan is generated, they can review the diet plan, and if they are not happy with it, they can give feedback and regenerate it. If they're not happy about the timing, or they are not happy about a specific recipe, they can ask to change that. That is all possible. So swapping the meals is one option which both the client can do as well as the coach can do. I'll talk about the client a bit later, but this the process of being able to regenerate, that has helped a lot, because
Mm.
now coaches feel they are in control. They are sending something which they know is going to work for their client, because they know their clients better.
Yeah.
So they send that, and then the next thing which happens is the tracking part. So every time the client actually opens the diet plan, and they could you know they don't like a specific recipe, or it's not about liking or disliking, they're just missing an ingredient in that, and they don't have time to go out and buy that ingredient.
Yep.
So they could just ask AI to swap that particular meal. The swap happens in a way that it makes sure that the macros and everything are still in control. The calorie values and macros and everything are kept in control within that.
Great. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how the plan evolves. So I'm assuming then that the clients are tracking their food intake, their sleep. Like, what? Tell me about their how this thing moves along as they get started.
Yeah, yeah, great point. Because one of the things which we initially worked on was to try to understand why people don't stick to a diet plan. And one major reason, I mean, there were top three reasons. One was that they did not like the diet plan because it was not how they cook or how they shop. That we took care. Second was uh, it was not meeting their taste buds. So that was the second reason which also we took care. And third was they just simply fall off because they couldn't follow or stick to the diet plan because they are traveling, they are moving somewhere, they are uh, out on the road or something like that, and they can't, even though they had planned to eat, they couldn't do it. So we took care of the third part by providing easy way to track it and correct it. So what I mean is that if they follow the diet plan, they can just go to the specific plan and say that I ate this, tick mark, be
Mm-hmm.
done. It's less than a second. You can track that. Second is if they are eating outside and or they got from a takeout, and before they eat, they can just take a picture of their meal, and that gets logged. Automatically, AI will understand what's in the plate, and it'll approximately calculate the calorie values and everything, and
Wow.
then log it. The third is they forgot to take a picture also. Then they can just type in saying that I had a meat burger and potato chips and coffee. That's it. They
Yeah.
may not be super accurate in defining it. Then AI will typically understand by their portion size what they could have consumed, and it lists it down. It logs it correctly. The the thing about tracking is more about bringing the consciousness that
Mm-hmm.
I'm following it, or I'm not following it, or I'm going off the track. Being aware of that itself is a big marker to bring them back onto the track. And
Yep.
second thing is, as soon as they track anything, they take a picture or they write or they tick on the meal plan, the coach gets a notification. And the coach can now have a conversation with the client saying that looks like you're having too much of chicken, or looks like the portion is too big. So those kind of interactions can also happen automatically. So that helps in two ways. One, the member gets a feeling that somebody is watching me
Mm-hmm.
and somebody is, taking, making sure that I'm on track.
Yep.
And second, they also become conscious, okay, I'm going off the track and I need to correct.
Yeah, that's a great lead into I think, a really interesting question of like, where does the human, I think coaches that get nervous about AI, I think we feel like we could be replaced. That this, what you just described, the specific meal plan based on somebody's, current lifestyle, current taste buds, current blood work, like that would take me weeks to create, and it wouldn't be as good as what you're talking about, this AI creating in a matter of seconds. And then the food track, all that stuff sounds like, the replacement of the human coach. But what you just said is kind of where I fall on this, is like the human element and the compassion and the actual coaching part. I'm not sure where you should let me ask this better. Should coaches be nervous about this replacing them?
No, in fact, coaches are getting excited about it. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the gyms who are coming on board and then testing it out right now in the last 3-4 weeks from
Yeah.
Two Brain Business Summit itself. Coaches are getting excited about this because they feel that they are in control.
Mm.
They had this skepticism in their mind for sure to start with. Is AI doing the right thing? And am I going to give something which is, generated by some random chat GPT kind of AI?
Mm-hmm.
So that feeling is taken out because they get to review it, they get to give feedback, and they get to correct it. And they are in constant touch with the client through these messaging between the apps. So they feel the empathy part there,
Yeah.
both on the client side and on uh, the coach side.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the thing that won't really ever be able to. I could be wrong, but I think that human element to provide the compassion that is so unique to the human experience is what will retain us as coaches. And this is just allowing us to be able to be more effective, like infinitely more effective with the clients that we work with, so that we can take on more and deliver a better product to those that we do. Is that, how do you feel about what I just said?
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. And there is this famous saying, right, in AI when everybody asks about this question, will AI replace me? It's not AI which will replace you, but the people who use AI will replace you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you better be the person to start using AI.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with. I've seen that trend happening rapidly, where the coaches and businesses that are utilizing it as best as they can and taking it seriously and learning as much about it and using products like yours especially, like they're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of their competitors, or whoever else comes up doing this stuff. So yeah, it's time to get on the train. Where do you see this? What are the next advancements using artificial intelligence in the fitness and nutrition space?
Yeah, we have a pretty solid roadmap for this. Um, Before I go to the roadmap, I want to touch upon one simple thing, which was a surprise realization for us as well. When Two Brain Business Summit, members started using our uh, solution, is that like one of the gym which has two centers, the husband and wife run those two centers. The wife is a nutritionist. They already had a nutrition plan running, which was an Excel sheet and PDF based this thing. And they only have active about 60 and 80 members in those two this thing. It's a boutique gym, completely personal training they handle, and they had a list of about 1,000 clients. And the moment they launched this for beta testing, they sent out email to all the 1,000 clients, and 30% of the dormant clients came back to them,
Wow.
asking them about not only nutrition, but also can I get back to my fitness regime?
Wow.
So that tells me that the gyms could use this as a lead magnet as well to
Yeah.
pull the dormant members back.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming a little bit, I do want to ask, I want to hear your answer on the future roadmap, but it does come full circle into how you got into this with your father and like seeing food and fitness as medicine and the utilization of these things. Like a lot of us as gym owners are talking about how we're helping people live longer and live better, and only using fitness for that hasn't been as effective as it should be. So using what you're talking about doing helps us streamline and make offerings to more and more and more people who would be able to use their fitness, but also nutrition as well as medicine for their overall wellness and to live longer and live better.
Right, right.
So what's next? What's the next part of this roadmap, and how do we continue that theme with what's up on the horizon?
Yes, actually, you mentioned a couple of two important points there. Or rather, one thing very important is helping them to live longer, right? So, one message which I keep telling to the gym members, I mean, the gym owners, when we speak to them, is think of this as you're not selling nutrition. You are actually selling nutrition combined with fitness, a longevity for their life.
Mm,
So that has a much better impact on your customers than just saying that I'll give you a better nutrition plan now.
for sure.
So that's where it starts, and that's where our roadmap opens up. So to complete this a wholesome fitness and improve their longevity, we looked at what are the aspects we are missing, and we started, we put a roadmap for it. So I wouldn't be able to talk about this customer, but we are working on a complete wholesome fitness, and which could be released sometime early 2026. Is we will integrate with not only we will integrate with the gym's softwares to understand which members are doing what kind of workout and what are the intensity of workout, and take that data and put that into your nutrition planning. So the nutrition planning is up by one more level.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing we will do is we will also start looking at your Apple Watch, your Whoop band, your, all those gadgets, and take that data and merge that into your nutrition and improve it to the second level. And then the third level which is coming in is we'll start tracking your sleep,
Mm-hmm.
because sleep is so important for your recovery. And how do we ensure that you have a good sleep? And how do we ensure that if you did not have a good sleep, how do we recover from that? So what nutrition can do to help in that?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the third phase which we are going to bring in. And finally, recovery as a whole, the fourth pillar is what we want to complete in the last phase. So that's
Fantastic. Yeah.
at a very high level, that's our roadmap.
So you mentioned the fourth pillar. What are the other? Tell me the other pillars.
Okay,
Review.
so there's fitness which you're already doing as a gym owner. And then second is nutrition, which we are adding with NutriChef now.
Mm-hmm.
And third is and combining these two is done by stage 1 and 2, where we integrate with your current gym software and suck that data to make it better, and then we integrate with your gadgets like Apple Watch and Whoop and everything, and make it better. So that completes those two pillars. Then we bring in the sleep element, because we are now integrated with your Apple Watch or Whoop band. We also know how long you are sleeping and what's your sleep timings and all. So we can start working on how nutrition can help you sleep better and recover better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fourth pillar is the recovery. What kind of recovery you need to have, what kind of spa or, rejuvenating you need to have. So gyms, there are gyms who offer these as additional value added solutions, right? So cold water bath or hot tub or sauna or all those kind of things, how you can use them to recover based on what you worked out or what you needed to.
Beautiful. So is that, it sounds like they're all reciprocal in like that. Would the recovery monitoring then implicate what you should do for your workout as well? And vice,
Yes.
like it should all be interrelated.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
And
Wow.
all that data going back to the coach, imagine all that data going back to the coach and giving recommendation to the coach saying that your member probably needs a tweak in their plan
Yeah.
is priceless.
Yeah. No kidding. It's huge. The interesting part. So you're mainly focused on gyms and fitness coaches, is that right? Not. This seems like it would be like an obvious answer a decade or so ago would have been this should be linked up with a physician. But you're
Yes,
actually you're targeted more towards fitness and nutrition coaches.
that's correct. Because uh, it all roots from, what I was looking at, right? That I'm looking at longevity.
Mm-hmm.
And for longevity, workout is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And that regime is so important, and that's why there's no better place to work through this than the gyms.
Yeah, I totally. I mean, you're. I could give you a big hug because that's exactly how I feel. I mean, I feel like as coaches, as fitness coaches and nutrition coaches and wellness, like we are doing the most important work for helping people live longer and live better. But if I were to say that the other way around is like, who would you talk to a normal person? Who would you talk to help yourself live longer and live better? They'd probably refer to their physician. But I think again, as what we're able to do in the trenches is more impactful. And I'm again, I think it's you're just reinforcing what I believe with the fact that you're targeting us with who's going to be utilizing these products and yeah, for our clients. So that's fantastic.
Thank you.
What you have some other stuff you're working on. Do you want to get into that, or do you have any other things you want to touch on with what we've gotten into previously?
No, yeah, I can touch about a few things which we are planning in terms of roadmap as well. One is obviously we are trying to work with the large gym softwares who are already into the gyms and see how we can partner with them and make the life easier for the gyms. That's one part which we are working on. Second is we are working with a interesting partner which comes with an AI yoga mat.
Mm.
This is an yoga mat which has pressure sensors on the mat, and it links up with an app, and it sends all the pressure points and where you're putting your pressure and your gesture and everything to the app. And with that, it is able to monitor your gesture, your balance, and your posture. And based on that, it is helping you to correct your postures during yoga.
Mm.
And
Wow.
that is also, it's almost like there was one company in the Two Brain Business Summit, I forgot the name of the company, which had a camera which could analyze your posture by just analyzing a small video of how you scout.
Mm-hmm.
And it i- it is something similar to that done by this yoga mat.
Crazy. So is that? Do you see that being more of a future, like where that as far as coaching cues, like a lot of us as coaches are people want to feel like they're doing things right, like they want to have their form corrected, and they should have their form corrected, obviously. Do you feel like that is the future though, like that there will be biometric sensors and more artificial intelligence with the cueing of movement.
Yes, yes. Yeah. AI is getting everywhere. AI
Yeah.
is getting into your cameras, your phones. I mean, you can start monitoring your members more better virtually as well as in your gyms just by implementing some of these things and just, be on the lookout for this.
Yeah. So I'll ask you the question I asked you before again is where does the coach, how do they fit into this picture if they're having uh, sensors or cameras or other things cue movement? Where does the coach fit in?
So I would like to draw an analogy before answering that question. So me as a startup founder, I was worried about limited resources before the age of AI in terms of funding, in terms of engineers
Mm-hmm.
who could understand my vision, my ideas, and convert them into actual product. It was such an humongous task. After I adopted AI, the requirement for number of engineers and all that has come down. That is one part. But there is somebody who is able to think at a speed at which I can, speak, and I can actually try to execute. And that has made me, I would say, no, I don't know, if I could somehow measure it, it's probably 50x better than who I was two
Sure.
years ago. So this is exactly what the coach should be thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you have this technology at your disposal. Look at how you can think about things which you were not able to think about. It is as if you are having a resident program for your members. They are 24 bar 7 around you, and you are telling them how to eat, what to eat, not to eat, when to wake up, when to sleep, and when to work out, and how much to work out, how to correct your posture. That resident program can now be done in your gyms without actually being resident.
Yep.
So embrace AI in a smart way, know what it can and cannot do, and take control on it, the output of AI, and use it. I'm
Yeah.
sure if I was 50x productive, I'm sure you will also be 50x productive.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you. I think that the same. I think it's only going to make us more efficient, and it's going to leave those behind who are not learning how to do these things and who are not embracing the technology. But it can be really, really amazing in the fact that a lot of the emphasis on what you've been saying is the hyper individualization of fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, sleep, etc. That's been the biggest downfall that we've had in this industry. And those who have been trying to do that have been separating themselves slowly. Like the more you can hyper focus on one person, the more efficient, the more you can do that well, the better off your clients are, your business is, your success is. And those who have kind of lumped people into big giant groups and just assume for the best, where they lose a lot of people. They've failed a lot of people, quite frankly. So to be able to hyper individualize fitness, nutrition, wellness for clients as a coach and not spend an inordinate amount of time on trying to do that, like that is, I think this is going to be an amazing future for those of us who jump on board.
Yeah, and at the same time, I also want to paint the picture clear here is that not everything is rosy when you start using this technology, right?
Hmm.
Not everything is going to work 100% correct.
Sure.
And that is where you are valued.
Mm-hmm.
Your experience comes into play.
Yep.
How you monitor the output and how do you correct it, and how do you make sure you use it in a right way, and be aware of the fact that I'm saying even including NutriChef can do mistakes.
Yep.
And you see that the small letter thing which is every time ChatGPT throws out, it says that ChatGPT can make mistakes. It is actually the fact.
Yeah.
So be aware of that and use it cautiously. You will definitely win the game.
Yeah, I use it a ton for program design for clients. I use it a ton. I haven't actually used your product, which I will be after this, but I have been using it for nutrition as well. It's been a powerful, powerful tool, but it still requires nurture from me, which I think that's where I see coaches get frustrated and they walk away from it because it's not perfect and it takes them some time to learn rather than massaging the technology and like trying to interact with it to get it better. They just walk away. But I've been really stubborn and trying to make it work and it's gotten better and better and better and better and better. And therefore I've gotten more efficient and my clients have gotten better products. And I think that's kind of harkening back to what we're talking about is like
I
it's
think
not perfect.
you just gave the playbook.
just just keep using it, and it's so at Two Brain Business we talk a lot about outsourcing, not outsourcing, but like delegation. We talk about delegation, and as an owner, you can't get frustrated and start cleaning toilets again because they don't clean the toilets the right way the first time. You got to go back in, you got to tell them what to do, and then you leave, and then you tell them what to do. Like eventually it gets way, way, way better, but you can't just get frustrated and try and do it all yourself. You have to embrace the delegation. And I think that's how I've tried to look at the artificial intelligence world is, okay, it's probably not perfect, but I got to keep working with it because this is the future. And we're lucky enough to have people like you who are on the other side tailoring this towards our industry and what we're doing. And again, I'm thrilled to hear what you were just describing for the live longer, live better goal, which is I think what we're all trying to do.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I just want to also, make a last note here that probably one note here is that um, we are also learning. We are just getting started. We don't think ourselves expert or we know, how this is going to work anyway. So we are here to, take your feedback and correct ourselves along the way. And but at the same time, we are here to back you up.
Hmm.
And we are also working not only providing you just the nutrition solution, we are also working on giving you templates on how to communicate this to your clients. We are making how to videos, which you can brand it to your this thing and send it out on your Instagram and your YouTube to your clients. And we are trying to create all the content which is necessary to make your journey to a successful sticky diet plan for your members. So um, it's reciprocal. Keep giving us feedback
Yeah.
and help us to make the product better. In turn, you will get a better results.
Beautiful. Okay, so where can people find more information, chat with you? Where do they go?
Yeah, so we, our website is the best place to start with. It's NutriChef.io. And I encourage everyone who is listening to this to, if you're a gym owner or a coach or a studio owner or anything, you could just go and check out our revenue calculator. So there is a revenue scorecard which tells you how much money you are losing or you're leaving on the table by not having a nutrition program.
Mm-hmm.
You just input your number of members, your churn rate, and the some few 4 or 5 different details we ask for. It'll tell you an approximate number as how much you as a gym owner losing the revenues. And then it also takes you to a ROI calculator where if you take nutrition plan from NutriChef, what's your ROI, when you will hit break even, and how much money you can make in a year.
Is that taking into consideration the fact that with better results, people are going to stay? Like I'm assuming what you're talking about is just if you bolt on some nutrition, like you'll get a return on this and it will be better for your business and better. But there's also the aspect of when people have better results, they stick around longer in general. When they have better results, more and more people see those results and want to know what they're doing. Like, does that even factor that in, or no?
No,
Yeah.
currently this is a plain simple ROI
Right.
calculator,
Right.
but it definitely, you made a great point that because we don't we don't have case studies to prove that, and we didn't want to make assumptions there.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah.
So
Agreed. But yeah, all those things are true. So I guess there's the concrete return on investment, but then there's the other hypothetical, which and very valid return on investment by having people get better results. Will keep them around longer, and you'll get more people in your gym as well. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, the biggest advantage I have seen already as a track record is people are using this as a lead magnet. So try this out.
mm-hmm. Cool, very cool. All right. Do you have anything else you'd like to leave us with? I'm sure you have a.
Yeah, just from a pricing point of view, I just want to leave, at a very high level that we work in three models. One is a NutriChef branded solution, which will be co-branded with your gym, which is at a lower price point. Um, and you can reach out to us on detailed number, but it is approximately about $10 to $12 per person. It works out, and you could be charging somewhere like 50 to $100 depending on your gym's pricing policy. And then we have a white label solution which will be completely branded as your solution and launched as it will be given you'll get a new app in App Store and Google Store with your brand. So that is the second tier. And third tier is if you already have an app and then you have technical ability to or partner who can integrate nutrition solution into that. We have APIs and there's a separate pricing for that. So we are open to all the three.
Wonderful. Very, very cool. Thanks for all that you're doing. And again, I think that your perspective on the whole picture of wellness is just so refreshing and warranted in what we're doing. And thanks for helping us coaches do what we do. It's been a pleasure to have you on, Bahubali. And I look forward to talking to you again as you evolve and do more stuff. So thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
Thank you for giving this platform, Kenny and Chris. I really appreciate that.
You're so welcome. All right. Talk to you soon. As always, thanks for listening, and don't forget to join our group at strengthcoachcollective.com.